it's hard to say if you had to narrow it down to one smoky whiskey because they're all so great for different reasons, and heaven forbid that you would only have to limit yourself to one. But if you had to make a call like that, the Ardbeg 10 is a very strong contender, right? It's Hey guys, welcome back to another tasting and review video for McIntyre's malts. So today I wanted to do another Islay whiskey that is always spoken about and referenced and regarded very highly in whiskey circles. So I'm going to get it from the cabinet now and we can have a experience together. All right, so today we are going to do a tasting and review of one of the nicest whiskies that I've had to date. It is the Ardbeg 10. All right, so as I said at the beginning, Ardbeg is an Islay whiskey, and the distillery lies at the most southern part of Islay, and the malt is revered around the world as the peatiest, smokiest, and most complex of them all. I've had a selection. I'm very much in favor of smoky whiskies. I wouldn't say it's the peatiest or smokiest, but definitely it's there. It does not, and then the label goes on to say, you know, it does not flaunt the peat. Rather, the peat gives way to the malt and the natural sweetness of which subtly intrudes, producing perfect balance. So we're going to pour a dram. On the front of the bottle, the flavor notes basically suggest sea spray and tarry rope with immense smoky intensity. All right, so let's pour a dram and learn together. It says non-chill filtered. It doesn't mention anything about the coloring, but given the light sort of very straw-like color, I would suggest that it's not colored. If it was, it would be much darker than that. So I'm not sure why Ardbeg wouldn't write that on the label. Maybe it is colored slightly. If you know, please let me know in the comments and share with me. So it's nice to, a non-chill filtered is very much something that many people talk about as a desired way of bottling the whiskey, because it removes, or the belief is that it removes some of the flavors from the whiskey with the chill filtration. So very much sought after and appreciated. Thank you, Ardbeg, for the non-chill filtering. So let's dive into the nose and get an idea of the scent from the beginning. Very sweet. I think most certainly there's a really nice balance in on the nose right away. This whiskey is 46% ABV, right in that nice pocket. I find between that 46 and 48% is a really nice range for the ABV, where you get a lot of flavor without being overwhelmed by the ethanol and the alcohol burn. So there really isn't a very strong alcohol scent, which is very nice. I'm getting a sense of honey. There's a nice dance between the peat you can smell and also like a floral, very much a little sea saltiness, that maritime note. I don't really get an intense smoke on the nose, so perhaps on the palate is more where that intensity comes through. I feel it's very much a nice balance between floral notes, honey notes, and the smoke. As I say, there's a really nice sort of dance that they do on your nose. I don't get the tarry rope that the bottle suggests. I would say it's a simple scent on the nose. There's not a lot of complexity for me going on. I feel comparatively to other whiskies like a Lafroig or a Lagavulin or perhaps a Port Charlotte heavily peated, it doesn't present the peatiness and the smokiness as the forward scent. It's really like a very nice subtlety between the two. Almost get elements of spice too, like perhaps really fine underlying nutmeg and cinnamon. And yeah, more so of that maritime, the sea spray, the saltiness I can get now. Okay, so let's try on the palate and get a sense of the flavor of the whiskey. Okay, so right away you get the first flavor that really hits is that sweetness, the floral notes, the honey, then the smoke. It's almost 3 stages for me on the palate. It's mouth-watering. It starts with the sweet, and it doesn't last very long, and then as soon as you sort of let the flavor roll over your tongue, then it transitions into the peat, comes through, and it's not overpowering, but it's a nice transition into the peat. And then from there, the aftertaste, once I've swallowed the whiskey, I get the malt shine through on the back of the palate. So this is not my first time trying the Ardbeg 10, but very much to the experience when I first tried the Ardbeg 10. It was that similar thing. I've yet to try an Islay that does that transition like this does. And the best way I can describe it is this beautiful dance, almost like or like a 3-piece act. Like if you ever watch a play, right, where they have the start, the middle, and the end, right? The Ardbeg does that beautifully. It's so much of an impressive palate experience for a 10-year-old whiskey, and I can really see why Ardbeg has such a cult-like status and following. It's a beautiful whiskey. Some of my favorite whiskeys are the Ardbeg range. It's more of a beautiful transition than other Isleys. Like I'm very much a fan of smoky whiskeys. I enjoy that flavor, that robust and intense, a very powerful flavor. I enjoy more so than I guess lighter or fruitier or more floral forward whiskeys. So to have that combination where definitely more cinnamon on the nose now as I'm letting it air in the glass a little. Very much, it's a wonderful experience to have that lovely scent, and then to have on the palate to literally transition from that sweet floral and honey-like flavor into the peat, and then the finish transitions into the malt. It's masterfully done. It's an exceptional whiskey, and generally where I am in Australia, the Ardbeg 10 ranges in price anywhere from about $80 to $105. If you can get it sub $100, that's an exceptional deal. You wouldn't even think twice. This is the kind of whiskey that isn't going to break the bank, but it is most certainly going to be an enjoyable experience and impress your friends. And I would absolutely pour this for anyone who comes over and wants to enjoy a nice whiskey with me. It's fantastic. This is the kind of whiskey that you would most certainly have on your shelf at all times. Now, I'm a massive fan of the Islay whiskies. On my journey so far, those are the whiskies that have really spoke to me and made the greatest impact or caught my attention, right? Now, it's hard to say if you had to narrow it down to one smoky whiskey because they're all so great for different reasons, and heaven forbid that you would only have to limit yourself to one. But if you had to make a call like that, the Ardbeg 10 is a very strong contender, right? It's satisfying on multiple levels because of the way that it transitions across your palate, and you're getting, it's not a one-trick pony, right? It's more to the experience. So let's have another sip now and see how the whiskey is opened up a little since sitting in my glass. Yeah, the same. Very nice, very nice. More softer on the second sip in that maybe my palate has acclimated to the peatiness or smokiness, and I got a very gentle, sweet, nice flavor on the palate, and then transitioned again into the peat, and then quickly out of the peat into the maltiness. And the linger is really the malt and the peat, and the sweetness doesn't hang around as long. Really nicely positioned. I feel this is a great order to experience those flavor profiles, to go from a sweet and then quickly switch into the smoke to stimulate your taste buds and excite the palate, and then gently leave you with that moreish, that mouth-watering, and the linger for the maltiness that you've come here for because you're drinking a malt whiskey, right? It's fantastic. Ardbeg 10 is a beautiful whiskey. So if you haven't tried this yet and you've been on the fence and you're not sure, don't hesitate. If you're a fan of smoky whiskeys, or if you want to get into transition your way into smoky whiskeys where something is not just smoke and you're looking for that nice balance of potentially familiar Scotch whiskey flavors with the honey and the floral notes that you enjoy, but you want to bring in that level of peat. I think this is a really nice whiskey to do that, to give you that experience of balancing these lovely transition of flavors and bring you into that world of peatiness and smokiness. So here's to you guys. Slán Javar. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.